Good afternoon, it's Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, and you're watching Midday Live on TV3. I am Wendy Lai. The headlines for this afternoon. Tema Oil Refinery told to resume full operations in the first quarter of 2018 after major repair works on the refinery. We will focus on how the refinery should rebrand itself to meet the increasing energy needs. Ghana Journalists Association condemns attacks on journalists at the NPP headquarters during a coverage of a protest by members of the Lembele constituency. President AKUFO-ADDO pledges to resolve to devote his energies to create opportunities for every Ghanaian in his Christmas message to Ghanaians. And on the firing front, Pope Francis urges Roman Catholics not to ignore the plight of millions of migrants driven from their land during Christmas Eve Mass. We have entertainment, sports, and many more coming up. Please do stay. The Ghana Journalists Association has condemned the attack on journalists at the NPP headquarters during the coverage of a protest by members of the Lembele constituency. The association calling on the leadership of the party to bring the culprits to book to demonstrate the abhorrence of such acts. On Thursday, December 21, journalists from TV3, City FM and Ghana Web were allegedly assaulted by security persons of the New Patriotic Party at the party's headquarters in Accra. The journalists had gone there to cover a protest staged by the NPP supporters from the Lembele constituency in the Western region on matters relating to the party's national elections early next year. According to the association, after careful investigation, the GJA condemns the attack on the innocent journalists. The statement further indicated that under no circumstance in the country's current democratic dispensation must a body, whatever, that's whether an individual or corporate institution, shrug off the rule of law and employ brute to seek redress to a problem. The attack, the statement said, was on human dignity, which is guaranteed under Article 15, Section 1 of the 1992 Constitution. And still on this story, General Secretary of the GJA, Edmund Kofi Abua, says the leadership of the NPP must punish the security guards who assaulted the journalists. He spoke to TV3 on News 360 last night.
We are not very happy about the incident because it is becoming one too many, and there's a growing culture of impunity which we think should come to an end. And so we are, apart from condemning the action, we are also calling on the leadership of the NPP to bring the culprits to book. And that is the only way we will believe that indeed they also are not in support of such action.
If they should bring the culprits to book, and then what next? Well,
if we see that an action has been taken against the people who acted in such manner, then it will even assuage the pain of the victims involved. So what we are asking for is that the leadership of the NPP must demonstrate commitment towards ensuring that this culture of impunity comes to an end.
Would you be surprised to hear that some journalists want to take this matter to the court because it's a case of an assault?
Yeah, it is a case of an assault, and in such matters, one, the individuals affected by it can take legal action. The media houses also can take an action, and the GJ as a body cannot take an action. Already we started a discussion around trying to get a team of lawyers who may be on standby to take up such issues anytime they occur. Because we are thinking that it is getting to the point where we need to go beyond just mere condemnation of such actions and actually take the necessary steps to assuage the damage caused to the persons involved.
Away from that story, maintenance works on the Tema Oil Refinery has been completed ahead of the scheduled commencement of crude oil refinery in the first quarter of 2018. Management says a positive attitude of employees towards work is what will keep the company high as production starts. Management again cautioned employees against unnecessary politicization.
Since 1963, TOR has been the engine of growth for Ghana's economy in the vision of successive governments' efforts at having a vibrant and robust energy sector. Ghana's only refinery has been plagued with funding challenges which have resulted in several shutdowns. Successive governments have had to institute a recovery debt levy to offset its indebtedness. With the discovery of oil and gas in Ghana, the company has attempted to expand and position itself to improve its infrastructure to ensure reliability of petroleum products on the Ghanaian market and also to export to the ECOWAS sub-region. The current board of TOR is counting on workers to put in more effort for TOR to bounce back on its feet.
When everything goes on well within a few weeks from now, we'll be blasting the CDU and processing crude for finished products once more. I know that we are still working on the RFCC, and again, God willing, within a few weeks from now, all things will be brought to a close as far as maintenance is concerned, and that would have also resuscitated that plant, and again will be on the street.
Training and retraining of staff, the new management says, will be its integral strategy going forward. Speaking at a special send-off ceremony to honor a number of retired staff in recognition of their dedicated services to TOR, the board chair and managing director all pledged their willingness to vigorously embark on key strategies to turn the refinery around. The send-off ceremony is a program instituted by TOR to recognize and celebrate retired employees for their long service, commitment and dedication to duty when they were with the company.
Celebration because we are all gathered here to enjoy ourselves and to congratulate you due to the significant roles each of you have played during your time here at TOR. The experience you take away is significant, but what you have imparted to those who are continuing your work is even more important.
A total of 50 staff who retired from 2015 to 2017 were honored in recognition of their meritorious service to TOR.
Thank you very much.
And joining me in the studio this afternoon is Pakwesi Anamwasechi, is Executive Director for Institute for Energy Security. Merry Christmas to you.
Same, Mom.
Good afternoon, thanks for your time.
Good afternoon, Wendy.
Now, TOR will be resuming its operations in 2018. And in that intro I read, management did touch on positive attitude of employees towards work and an unnecessary politicization of their work. How different should managers run the refinery if they should start in 2018?
I think the chief executive was on point. TOR have been experiencing this political intrusion for quite a long time. If we have to go forward and ensure that we're working well to deliver the mandate of TOR, then we should ensure that these are taken out of the system. It is also important that management should be able to whip up the spirit of the same staff. If you're talking about the staff of Tema Oil Refinery, they are one of the highly skilled labor in the country. If you go to UAE, at Tigray refinery and other places, you'll find Tamoyo refinery workers there. They're capable of doing a lot of things, running power plants and a whole lot of processing plants. And so they are very good staff we have at TOR. All that management need to do is to whip up the spirits and ensure that the politics is taken out of the operations of TOR. It's also important to stick to the maintenance regime of TOR. They've been doing this maintenance for quite a long time. Under normal circumstance, it's taking about 3 to 4 months to finish this. But the turnaround maintenance is taking more than 9 months, 10 months. We're going to a year now. We could understand that the refinery had not had this turnaround maintenance for quite a long time, since 2009. And as part of their insurance policy and the maintenance protocol, every 2 years there should be a turnaround maintenance. But since 2009, Tamoyo Refinery have not had this. Probably was coming from their financial challenges. But it's important that we stick to this and ensure that the plant is always ready to deliver what they need to do. So that's one key thing they need to do.
Now, you've touched on a number of things, but looking at their past and going into the future, can they remain in operation if they should start? Or unless they adhere to some of these things that you've mentioned?
Sure. They've proven that they can be in operation and they can run for more than a year or two before they even shut down for this major maintenance. If you remember, between 2016 to the close of 2016, they were able to refine about 7 million barrels, including 300,000 barrels from the Trinidad and Ntume field, because they imported 1 million barrels through BOS, and they were able to refine about 300,000 before we had a plant going down because there was an explosion of one of the furnace, F61. So TOR is capable if they're able to retool and retrofit their plant well. If they kick gear, they're able to run 2 years.
Now, during your earlier submission, one of the things you critically touched on is politicization, and you've touched on that very carefully, but you've spoken about investment in TOR and the like. How can government contribute effectively to ensure that some of these pointers you've laid out happens?
Every investor, talk of the government itself, is an investor. It's a shareholder of the refinery. Before you put your money into something, you want to be sure what you get out of it. In terms of the Tamoyo refinery, it's a national security asset because energy security is national security issue. And so if we have our own refinery running all the time, we are sure that our fuel security is guaranteed. Today, for the past 3 weeks, Nigeria has been experiencing fuel shortage. They are in queues today. We are celebrating in Ghana. They have to carry their gallons to the pump, while they are the major and the biggest oil producing country in Africa. But they are joined the queue because their refineries are not working. This interrupts and this obstructs productivity. And so it is key for government to invest in TOR. But government itself also wants to be sure that whatever I put into TOR, I will be able to regain something out of it. Of course, government should invest in TOR. Today, if they start, even the CDU, they won't be able to do more than 45,000 barrels per day. They will do just about 28,000
Does that justify the need for building a new one? Or concentration should be on this one to ensure that it works effectively?
If you look at sub-Saharan Africa, West Africa, we consume 40% of the national consumption, annual consumption, 40%. What we produce as a continent is just 9%, okay, of what we are supposed to consume. The whole of Africa, about 98 million metric ton. We only do about 9% of this. It means that we source all the other products from Europe, Asia, and Americas, okay? And so there is a very big market, even in West Africa, for Tamoyo refineries to take advantage of if you have to refine more. Nigeria has about 4 refineries waiting for Dangote to come on stream, but still they have their own challenge. They are not producing well. If Tamoyo refineries start production and they maintain production, they're able to capture the West African markets. It's very good for government. Very good.
So it's a yes for...
It's a yes.
All
And
right.
if they want to do a new plant, it's good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks,
Kwesi Anamwase, she's Executive Director for Institute for Energy Security. Merry Christmas to you once again.
Merry Christmas.
You're still watching Midday Live, and power has been restored to the Ghana Trade Fair Company after power was cut off due to unpaid bills. The Ghana Trade Fair Company was indebted to the ECG to a tune of 600,000 cedis.
The trade fair land at La, a suburb of Accra, was acquired by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah by legislative instruments 1960. Construction of the center commenced in 1962 for the first international fair proposed for February 1966 but was postponed to February 1967. Since 2015 to mid-December this year, the state-owned enterprise was without power supply from ECG and was operating on a power plant. Dr. Agnes AKUFO-ADDO took over in July this year as the CEO and put in place a 90-day plan to raise revenue and to get the power reconnected. In the first 5 days of the plan, the trade fair company managed to collect 100,000 cedis from defaulting tenants.
The arrears were in excess of 600,000 the day I walked in. A good 400,000 Ghana cedis of it was not Ghana Trade Fair's bill. It was the tenant's bill. And they have fallen into arrears. But in the books of ECG, they can't go after the tenants individually because the bill is in the name of Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited.
The tenants have been taken off the sole meter and the ECG is to provide a separate meter for each tenant. The trade fair is a pale shadow of itself as most of the structures there have outlived their usefulness and are in bad state. Some works are ongoing at the round pavilion and the space behind it by Fantasy Entertainment Limited. The venue will host the fair from February 28 to March 7, 2018 with some 600 exhibitors expected to attend. It will focus on the government's initiative of One District, One Factory program.
I have the support of the staff and we have launched it about a month ago. We are in the registration phase. We will highlight all 216 districts here as part of the international fair.
CEO of the trade fair company, Dr. Agnes AKUFO-ADDO, indicated her plan is to redevelop the over 200-acre land in the next 5 years.
We are the vehicle through which government can promote trade and industry, products and services. The core anchor project of what we want to do here will be a proper convention center. In the end, there will be a mixed use, a multi-purpose mixed use facility here.
The company will be conducting security auditing and ensure that the place is well lit to provide the necessary protection within and outside the walls of the trade fair site.
The Roads and Highways Minister, Makwata, has reviewed overloaded trucks will not be allowed to ply the Yapi and Bupe bridges. He emphasizes outfit will penalize any aisle operator caught in flouting his orders. The sector minister said this at the reopening of the Yapi and Bupe bridges in the northern region. The Yapi and Bupe bridges were constructed about 50 years ago to connect the northern and southern parts of Ghana and neighboring West African countries. However, the bridges in recent times have exhibited signs of cracks and slabs and joints exposing users to danger. Though the Roads and Highways Minister had already conducted 2 separate maintenance work, they became weaker by the day. This necessitated a total closure for emergency rehabilitation works to commence, hence the closure on November 22, 2017. On how safe the bridges are for travellers, the minister indicated that the bridges would not have been opened to traffic if his engineers had not cleared them for usage. The minister again reviewed aisle operators will be monitored keenly to ensure they don't flout the safety measures.
We want to put it to use and monitor it closely for 2 weeks so that if we see any slightest defect anywhere, it will be corrected. And I can assure the people of this country that latest by 2nd week in January, the entire stretch is going to be asphalted.
He also cautioned that never again will the 2 bridges located on the only track road between northern and southern Ghana be closed entirely. In other news, a 30-year-old self-styled medicine manufacturer, Samuel Owusu, has been arrested by a combined team of Food and Drugs Authority and the police. Samuel told TV3 he, together with 290 others, used one day to learn how to manufacture mouthwash and 5 other products in Accra, and has been in operation for nearly 6 months.
Samuel Owusu's arrest followed a dawn swoop on substandard, fake and unregistered drug dealers at Kwame Nkrumah Circle, Accra. After picking the first set of sex-enhancing drug dealers between the VIP and Chisco transport yards, the team came across this table with Sam's fresh mouthwash neatly displayed on it near the Hawkers Market. The team accosted this woman who was arranging the products, but she denied ownership. With assistance of other street traders, the owner, Samuel Owusu, appeared to claim ownership for the caretaker woman to be released. The products were in 2 brands and sizes. Samuel claimed he makes up to 200 cedis on a good day. But a more shocking revelation was that Sam's fresh mouthwash is manufactured by Samuel Owusu himself, using hydrogen peroxide and other chemicals he cannot readily recollect.
There are some other things that I've forgotten. I have to go and retrieve it from.
Samuel also told TV3 he studied how to make the products in a day's workshop in Accra, along with 290 others.
They taught us so many things like liquid soap and the others, so it took us for the day.
Head of Herbal and Food Supplement Department of the Food and Drugs Authority, Emmanuel Yao Kwating, is alarmed at the revelation.
I don't know how that one-day training can make you so competent to produce wholesome medicines for the public. The laws of this country requires that you go through a process, setting up your manufacturing area, registering the products, FDA making sure that your products are efficacious for Ghanaians to consume.
For now, Samuel is being held at the CID headquarters pending further investigations.
We head to the Volta region, where a plight of a Catholic hospital in Bator continues to worsen as a number of babies born prematurely may die because of lack of baby-friendly equipment in the hospital. The hospital has struggled to acquire the equipment. Beautiful on the outside, but the inside is deplorable. 200 deliveries are recorded every month. But the facility has only 2 incubators. These were donated to the hospital by Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, MP for Notong, after several lamentations from officials and mothers. To make up for the number of incubators, the facility improvises.
We improvise onion bulbs, which I had designed in a table, resuscitation table form, and we put them under. We have something like a warmer. It's like a hot water bottle type of warmer, which we plug. But it's only one. And it's not, it's not enough again. So when that happens, then that poor baby will end up with just blankets. And hypothermia is a major cause of mortality in our preterms.
The hospital has no kangaroo mother care area to protect preterm babies. The children's ward is also not child-friendly. Philanthropists keep the facility running, but this is not enough.
A friend of mine mentioned it to me that Bata Hospital needs help. And when I came here, I realized that he even underestimated what they really need. You realize that till Honorable Kucheto came here, they gave them 2 incubators. They didn't have anything, and they have to improvise, meaning that a child could easily die.
The hospital has only 1 pediatrician taking care of all complicated cases in the catchment area. The hospital lacks beds. Mothers sleep on the bare floor, either on a mat or cloth. Washrooms are in a very bad state. The toilet facility has to be used for weeks before it can be flushed. Patients risk infections. To attract support, the medical officer in charge organizes get-togethers. She was worried the increasing number of preterm babies at the hospital calls for a major push to reduce deaths if Ghana wants to reach the global goal to end all preventable newborn and child deaths by 2030.
You know, until you are 10, your lungs are not, or 34 completed weeks for that matter, your lungs are not fully matured. So, I mean, that is a problem by itself with the preterm. And then their subcutaneous tissue is also not enough. So they can easily get cold, and that cold can kill them.
President AKUFO-ADDO has charged Ghanaians to unite and focus on working together to build a progressing, prosperous Ghana. In his Christmas message, the president pledged his unflinching resolve to devote his energies to create opportunities for every Ghanaian.
On behalf of the government, my wife Rebecca, my daughters and grandchildren, I extend warmest greetings and best wishes to all Ghanaians celebrating Christmas. We join the millions across the world in recognizing the sense of renewed hope this joyous season brings to us. As we give and receive the goodwill of Christ in this holy season, let us be mindful of the true meaning of his life on earth, and especially of his greatest commandment. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And love your neighbor as yourself. I therefore encourage all to remain committed to the cardinal principles of Christianity: faith, love, charity, and reconciliation. Over the last 11 months, the period of stay of my government in office, we've taken concrete steps towards stabilizing and growing our economy, providing incentives for the private sector to flourish, and ensuring that the most basic elements of social justice, i.e. access to free quality education and health care, are met. I believe that the measures we have put and will put in place will lead to greater and greater employment for all Ghanaians, especially the youth, and higher incomes. I'm confident that the best days of Mother Ghana lie ahead. Let us stay united and focus on the things that can help us construct the road to a brighter future. For my part, I'll always be grateful to God and to you, the Ghanaian people, for giving me the opportunity to serve you. I remain committed to devoting all my energies towards helping create a free and prosperous nation of opportunities, where every Ghanaian child, no matter the circumstances of their birth, has a fair chance to strive for a happy and dignified life and realize their aspirations, and where we can unleash the sense of enterprise, creativity, and innovation of the Ghanaian people, so that together we can build a progressive, prosperous Ghana whose citizens live in harmony and security, in fulfillment of the dreams of the founding fathers of our nation. Let us all celebrate the season safely and responsibly, and remember to help those who are less fortunate than ourselves. Let each one of us do our bit to help feed those who are hungry and offer comfort to those in need. Let us take the time to gather, love, listen, and learn from each other, and to remember that with the help of God, we can overcome any challenge and achieve any future of which we can dream. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. May God bless us all and our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong.
And ex-President John AKUFO-ADDO has advised the youth to be patient as they await the good fortunes of the NPP government. He urged all Ghanaians to be tolerant and peaceful with one another. Now, these were contained in his Christmas message to Ghanaians.
Christmas being the day when to us the Savior of mankind was born, should be marked by all people in peace and in goodwill towards each other. So I use the occasion to wish all the people of Ghana, everybody in this country, a Merry Christmas and a joyous and prosperous New Year. Whatever has transpired before now, we should look on Christmas as the time to draw the line, so we look ahead afresh on basis of goodwill and with hope. We are a very young country. I believe the majority of our population can be classified as young or youthful. I would urge them to restrain themselves. I know now we are told we have unemployed graduates association. If even the graduates are unemployed, you can imagine those who haven't had the opportunity, what's happening to them. Life is quite tough. But I would urge them to be patient, because you cannot change the world with just a snap of the hand. No. What is important is that wherever you find yourself, try to be positively creative. You don't allow yourself to be tempted into bad ways, because you may destroy the chances of your future. So let's all live within the law and do whatever we can to sustain ourselves on the right side of the law. We are being ushered into better times, times where the nation would attract a lot of investments that would lead to creation of jobs, and that would also spread the wealth generally. It's not going to be just a few people, perhaps styled as capitalists, just grabbing everything and holding on to it. No, this government, I believe, is an open-minded government that is there for the people as a whole, and not just for some greedy few. So it's just a matter of patience, and in time, Ghana will be back on track.
And the Convention People's Party has called for unity from all Ghanaians as Christmas is marked. Chairman of the party is Professor Edmund Daly.
Fellow Ghanaians, Christmas is with us again. On behalf of the Convention People's Party, I wish to carry this message of hope for you, that Christ brought to us a message of love, so that despite all differences and difficulties we may be facing, we know that we need peace, love, tranquility in our country to move forward. Again, the message we want to say as CPP is that let us consider Ghana as a corporate entity, Ghana for all of us. And once we come together, we can solve our problems together. We have noticed with sadness that for nearly 20 years, even more, we have been struggling to come together as a group, a family, under one leadership and with one vision, so that we can rekindle that glory that the Convention People's Party had, knowing very well that was the party which brought independence to Ghana and which lit the light for other countries in sub-Saharan Africa to gain independence. I think we have been talking. This time is action. God bless Ghana. God bless the Convention People's Party. Every life, a single life of every Ghanaian is important for us. So we are calling on the drivers, the passengers, the road users to make sure that we have a Christmas which is free of accidents. God bless all Ghanaians. Have a wonderful festive season.
The Vice President has called on ministers and other officers in government positions to serve the people of Ghana with trust and humility. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia was of the view that will foster peace, stability and unity among the people of Ghana and the government. He was speaking during a visit to the Royal House Chapel in the Kanda Presbyterian Church of Ghana in Accra.
The first port of call by the Vice President was the Royal House Chapel. He was flanked by some ministers of state and functionaries to the church. Amid songs and worship, he received a rousing welcome from the Apostle General, Reverend Sam Kranche Ankra. The visit by the Vice President was to honor his promise made to the church in the heat of the 2018 campaign season. The Apostle General, Reverend Sam Kranche Ankra, lauded the Vice President for his immeasurable role to Ghana's development. He promised to support government for Ghana's development.
Anybody here who has any contributions to make, anything to offer, please just speak this. And once you mean business, they will do business with you. This I can assure you.
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia emphasized on the peace and stability of the country and warned those in government positions to truly serve the people of Ghana.
For us in positions of authority, we have to recognize we are only there by the grace of God and to serve the will of the people. That is all. That is all. We are there temporarily to do the will of God, which is the will of the people.
He presented a sum of 10,000 cedis and 100 bags of rice to the church. The Apostle General sought God's guidance and good health for the Vice President and government. The Vice President again made a final stopover at the Kanda Presbyterian Church of Ghana. He was welcomed by the Clerk of the General Assembly, Dr. Nyampong, and the acting moderator of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Reverend Dr. Victor Abbey. In his sermon, the acting moderator, Reverend Dr. Victor Abbey, spoke against corruption in the Ghanaian society.
It is a shame that in today's Ghana, our sisters, our wives, our daughters will die during childbirth because the road leading to the hospital from the village is so bad that before they go to the hospital, the person is dead. And it points to one thing, that we are not being faithful to God who called us.
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia was elated government's flagship programs would improve on the lives of Ghanaians.
This is what is driving free SHS, 1 million, one constituency, one district, one factory, one village, one dam. All of those things is trying to make sure everybody participates and is recognized for the resources of this country are used to benefit everybody.
Later, he presented 10,000 cedis and 100 bags of rice to the church. The acting moderator prayed for the Vice President and the government.
You're still watching Media Live. We have more shortly. Thanks for staying. We have international news now.
Pope Francis has used his traditional Christmas Day message to call for peace for Jerusalem and dialogue between Israelis and Palestinians. Acknowledging growing tensions between them, he urged a negotiated solution that would allow the peaceful coexistence of the two states. U.S. President Donald Trump recently announced that America recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. The hugely controversial move drew condemnation across the Muslim world. On the eve of Christmas, Pope Francis urged Roman Catholics not to ignore the plight of millions of migrants driven from their land during Christmas Eve Mass. The pontiff compared them to Mary and Joseph, recounting the biblical story of how they traveled from Nazareth to Bethlehem but found no place to stay. Many migrants, he said, were being forced to flee from leaders who see no problem in shedding innocent blood.
Next, we have entertainment.
Entertainment news is brought to you by
And Christmas came early for viewers of TV3 as the day started with different tunes of Christmas from a symphony team on the New Day show. Here's how Christmas was celebrated on New Day this morning.
In the spirit of Christmas, the Triumph Symphony, which has been in existence for the past 2.5 years, has been creating melodies with their soothing voices. The group was on TV3 New Day's Christmas edition to usher viewers into the Christmas mood and into the Yuletide celebrations. For them, every Christmas is a privilege and worth the wait.
We should all know that Jesus is the center of the Christmas. Had it not been him, Christmas celebration wouldn't be in existence. So we are saying that we should all have fun, even as we are celebrating this Christmas or during this festive period. Let's do it with a consciousness of Christ and make sure that we also try to impart the society in a good and better way.
For them, such opportunities are geared towards impacting the youth.
It means a lot to us. We also feel like giving back to the society. So when we have any opportunity like this, we need to utilize it and make use of it. Yeah, to make sure that the society which we tapped from, society that's nurtured us, is also benefiting from the kind of knowledge they gave to us.
The group would also round up the year with a Christmas concert at Elmina on December 29.
All right, so on that note, from my producer, Kamal Kluchi, studio director, Babina Finn Walker, and my cameraman, Percy Nipens, Godwin Nash, and the rest of the team, including myself, we say a Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for spending time with us. And then Amuncho as well. Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of our programs. Good afternoon.